Hi, this is Laurie Wallin from Living Power Life Coaching. Thanks for joining me again. You know those days that are a little like Laura Numeroff's book, If You Give a Moose a Muffin? Have you read that book? If you haven't, basically the gist is, if you give a moose a muffin, chances are he'll want some jam to go with it. And if you give him the jam, then he'll want another muffin and another and another until you run out of muffins. You have to take the moose to the store. Life is such a moose muffin existence sometimes. We start one thing and it leads to the next, and maybe 3 or 4 other things are piling on top of it, and before you know it, we are living Laura Numeroff's animated book. Moms out there, you know what I'm talking about. Just so many things to balance in your head. So how do we deal with that? So here's the definition that I use, the working definition for values, is what can you not live without? Outside food, clothing, and shelter, what have you got to have so that you can exist in your life and be functional? People say all different kinds of things for this, but think through it for a minute. What are the things that you have to have? For me, it's a connection to people that I love. It is the ability to communicate, to have adventure in my life. I like to travel. I like to read. I like to learn. What do you value? What are the things that you have to have? Do you value honesty and integrity and spirituality? Do you value fun? Do you value humor? Do you value alone time? Do you value independence? Do you value community? What kinds of things do you have to have? Spend a little bit of time drafting a short list of things. And this is going to be a dynamic list. It's going to take a little time, and you'll kind of have to wear that with you throughout the day to figure out what it is that you have to have. So I would recommend that you do that and find out what you value. And that is the beginning to curing the phenomenon of momnesia. That we have to decide to set some new rules. The rules are that life lines up with your values. So once you change the rules, then you have to decide that one of the rules is that multitasking has to stop. To cure the chaos in our heads, we have to decide that multitasking is done. It doesn't work unless one of your values is chaos. If you don't value stress and chaos and a hectic life, then I recommend deciding you're going to do one thing at a time. This is really hard for moms. We have lots of people demanding that we do lots of things like right now all the time, and I get that. And so I've had to actually teach my family how to let me do one thing at a time. And it's been probably a 6-month process since I've really started intentionally doing this with them, and it has made all the difference in the world. And I will tell them why I'm doing one thing at a time. I'll say, hey, I value cooking healthy for the family. So I am cooking right now, and you guys can decide how you're going to share that toy. I'm not going to moderate that fight for you. I'm doing this because it's what I value, and it's what we value as a family. Or I am going to call my mom right now because she's grieving her sister passing away, and I value family and I value supporting people, and I'm going to spend some time with grandma on the phone. And you're welcome to snuggle up next to me and maybe say something to her on the phone as well. But right now we're going to take a break from playing and we're going to give grandma a call because that's what we value. It's one at a time. It's not 10 things at a time. It's not playing Legos with the phone, trying to keep the dog off my kid and give him a snack at the same time, because that's no fun to be around. It makes us crazy. It makes us have momnesia. Keep those things in mind as you are going through the day, and on those days when you feel like your head has just run off at a light speed and left you in the dust, decide, hey, what do I value right now? What's not being honored about what I value right now, and what needs to change in that area? Then make some new rules. What am I going to do about it? What do I do differently because of what I value? What matters because of what I value? And finally, just decide that you're going to do one thing at a time. Because honestly, when we value something, it's worth having that kind of prominence in our thoughts and in our actions for that moment. And that's part of how we show that we value it. I'd love to talk with you more about this. My contact information is at the end of the video. Have a great week.